Hello trainers, and welcome to another episode of Pokéology, a show where each week I talk to you about the biology of Pokemon based on the research that I have found. My name is Professor SACCHARUM, and this week we're going to talk about a Pokemon that was pulled straight from the Ice Age. That's right, it's Mamoswine. As always, we will be asking the following questions when we look into each Pokemon. What does it look like? What does it eat? How does it survive? What makes it special? Where do I find it? And how do I train it? So let's start a new Ice Age by taking a look at Mamoswine. Mamoswine is a large quadruped porcine Pokemon with brown bristly fur. Some notable traits are Mamoswine's large frame, tusks, snout, facial pattern, and toes. To start things off, we'll take a look at Mamoswine's tusks. Upon evolving, Mamoswine's tusks grow incredibly large. There is even a myth that these tusks are made entirely of ice, when in actuality, the tusks are just covered in ice most of the time because Mamoswine like to show off using Ice Fang. Oh, and I can't forget to mention that a male Mamoswine will have larger tusks than a female. Now let's take an in-depth look at Mamoswine's large frame. As you can tell, Mamoswine is covered in a brown bristly fur. However, it's different from its pre-evolution Piloswine, who are shaggy. A Mamoswine's fur is incredibly thick and supported by a thick layer of fat. In fact, there is so much fat surrounded by Mamoswine's eyes that it can afford to not have fur in that area, which causes the white and blue color distortions that make up Mamoswine's facial pattern. Since we're on Mamoswine's face, let's take a look at its snout. Although it's not a long trunk, it is more defined, and if you take a good look at this picture, you can see the development of a small trunk. Maybe if we discover a mega evolution for Mamoswine, the snout will develop even further to become a trunk. Now before we move on to the next section, I also want to look deeper into Mamoswine's build. Upon evolving, Mamoswine's body did get larger, and with that, it needed a larger and more developed set of legs to help it get around. On top of that, most porcine Pokemon only have 2 toes. However, Mamoswine has 3. Again, this is more than likely just to help keep Mamoswine balanced. And finally, Mamoswine have an adorable nub of a tail. It's so cute! Look at that little tail! He's so cute, little waggle in the swing. By the way, did I mention that the average Mamoswine is 8'2" and weighs 641.5 pounds? Woo! A Mamoswine's diet is actually slightly tricky. They are omnivores, but they primarily eat plants. Mamoswine feed mostly on grass, leaves, and pine needles. They use their large tusks to knock off any snow from their food. Also, due to Mamoswine's large size, they need to eat a large amount of food. And when these Pokemon do want to eat meat, they're able to take down anything that's smaller than they are, unless they have a type disadvantage. Well, to start answering this question, I want to go back to the fat covering Mamoswine's body. To get a better idea of how important this layer of fat is, Mamoswine are able to endure extreme cold and extreme heat because of all of the fat. Now I want to take a moment to say that although Mamoswine are giant Pokemon that seem like they can take down anything, they do have a natural predator in Steelix. Not only are Steelix 3.5 times bigger than Mamoswine, but they also have a type advantage against Mamoswine. Granted, Mamoswine do have a type advantage against Steelix as well. Steelix tend to have better defenses than Mamoswine. The one thing that makes Mamoswine special that I have not mentioned yet is that these Pokemon are the very definition of gentle giants. Also, since Mamoswine are the first in their evolutionary line to see properly, they're always amazed by the world around them. But I know that there are some things that I forgot to mention, so let me pull out the handy dandy Pokédex. Its impressive tusks are made of ice. The population thinned when it turned warm after the Ice Age. A frozen one was dug up from soil dating back 10,000 years. It woke up to much amazement. It flourished worldwide during the Ice Age, but its population declined when the masses of ice began to dwindle. If you want a Mamoswine of your own, you're going to have a hard time finding one. Wild Mamoswine can only be found in the Unova region's giant chasm in the rustling grass. But if you're dying to get your hands on a Mamoswine, you do have a few other options by finding their pre-evolution, Swinub and Piloswine. You can look for Swinub in the following places: Kanto's Icefall Cave, Sinnoh's Route 217 and Acuity Lakefront, and Johto's Ice Path. If you want to find a Piloswine, you can look in these places: Sinnoh's Route 217, but you're going to need the Poké Radar, Unova's Giant Chasm, and Kalos' Frost Cavern. According to my Pokédex, Swinub evolves into Piloswine at level 33. and then Piloswine evolves into Mamoswine if it knows Ancient Power and levels up. Now it's time for me to teach you how to train up this Tusk Terror. The first thing you're going to want to know about Mamoswine is that it is an Ice and Ground type Pokemon, meaning that it is weak to Fighting, Fire, Grass, Steel, and Water type moves, but resists Poison and is immune to Electric type moves. Now let's take a look at Mamoswine's base stats. Just from this chart, we can see that Mamoswine are very well rounded, with their lowest stats being their special attack and special defense. However, with an HP stat of 110 and attack stat of 130, Mamoswine are capable of taking some hits as well as deal a massive amount of damage. The only thing that could make Mamoswine a lot more threatening is if their defense and speed were just a tad higher, but overall, Mamoswine have a very solid base stat chart. Next, you're going to need to know that Mamoswine has access to either one of three abilities: Oblivious, Snow Cloak, and Thick Fat. Oblivious prevents Mamoswine from becoming paralyzed. Snow Cloak raises Mamoswine's evasion in a hailstorm. And Thick Fat raises Mamoswine's resistance to fire and ice type moves. For the first set, you're going to want a Mamoswine with either a naive or naughty nature, and the ability Thick Fat. Give it the Life Orb to hold and spread the EVs, 240 attack, 16 special attack, and 252 speed. Then give it the moves Earthquake, Ice Shard, Freeze Dry, and either Icicle Spear, Icicle Crash, or Stealth Rock. If you want more information about this set and what it can do, click on Mamoswine and you'll get redirected to a full analysis of this set by a trainer who goes by PokeMD or Joey. And don't forget to tell him that I sent you. Now for this next and final set, you're going to want a Mamoswine with either a Jolly or an Adamant nature, and the ability Oblivious. Give it the Focus Sash to hold and spread the EVs, 252 attack, 4 defense, and 252 speed. Then give it the moves Stealth Rock, Endeavor, Ice Shard, and Earthquake. This build is for a lead Mamoswine that will allow it to set up Stealth Rocks freely. And there you have it. Mamoswine, the Pokemon to survive the Ice Age. Well, that's my show for this week. Remember, if you liked this video, to give it a thumbs up and to subscribe to this channel for next week's Pokemon. Also, don't forget to leave your friend code and a suggestion for a Pokemon you'd like to see on the show in the comments section below. By doing that, you enter yourself in the SACCHARUM raffle, where you have the chance to win the Pokemon discussed in this week's episode. If you want to find out who won the Talonflame raffle, you can check out this video right here. Thank you so much for watching. Again, my name is Professor SACCHARUM, and please join me next week for another cheerful episode of Pokéology. See you next time.